Gonna make a little hole here using a skewer like you would use to do shish kebab on your grill. Just a little wooden skewer, doing a little hole that's 1/4 of an inch to a 1/2 an inch, depending upon your seeds. Now I'm going to put some basil seeds, and as you can see, they're really tiny. So I'm going to use my little helper here to get these in the hole. I've got a pair of long tweezers. And as soon as I put 2 in the hole, I always put 2 in the hole just in case one doesn't germinate. I can always edit them later. So we've got 2 to go in the hole there. Wasn't 100% sure that I had one in there, or a second one in there, so I'm gonna put what could possibly be a 3rd one. You never know what your germination rate's gonna be. Now this is a back to the roots organic seed that I'm planting. Again, it's basil. It's a sweet basil. So I've made my little hole here for lettuce seeds, but I've made it only 1/8 of an inch deep. Lettuce doesn't want to be planted very deep. And lettuce is an early crop. It'll come up when it's still cool outside. It's a cool weather crop. You can get a spring crop out of it. You can also get a fall crop out of it. And I am gonna stick to my putting 2 seeds in a hole, just to be sure that I get germination and enough plants in order to plant. The nice things about the lettuce seeds here is that they are white instead of being dark, and so that helps a lot to be able to see when you're sticking them in the hole, to know that you've actually put them in there. So kind of tease them off and then tamp them down, and I just tamp down the top part of the cell. You almost could sprinkle them on the surface and do a little light coat of your sprouting mix. But I filled all my cells not knowing exactly what I was going to put where. So today we're going to do it this way, and we'll see what happens. So now I've brought you into my room that has got south-facing window, so that this is the room that I get the most light in, the most direct light. And I've also got a plant light above. And these are tomatoes that we started 2 weeks ago. Started them in a solo cup, and we don't have our first set of true leaves. We have our first set of seedling leaves, but not true leaves. And when we get our second set of true leaves, we will actually raise the soil in here to cover up these leaves and the first set of true leaves. And that will make the tomato produce even more of a root system, so that when we do put it in the ground eventually, that we have got a very vigorous root system as we can possibly have, so that we get them off to a great start. We've got beefsteak there. We've got small red cherry tomatoes there, and I believe this is Brandywine Pink. Yes, that's Brandywine Pink. So like I said, these are just 2 weeks in. In order to create a dome on these, we put a clear plastic trash bag. This is just on a cookie sheet. Again, just did the spritzing method almost every day. There were a couple days that we didn't need to. And once we sprouted, then we took the plastic off, essentially taking our dome off. And now we have seedlings that we will spritz and keep the soil moist, and hopefully get enough sunshine that we will be able to get them growing pretty vigorously, so that we're ready to plant come May. You can see this is a room that has to share space with my houseplants when they come in for the winter, because we need the south-facing sun. And one of the things I wanted to point out that I didn't mention when I was running down what I had planted in here, you'll notice that my first rows, I have the little plastic markers that I've written on there, what I have planted in there. Forgot when I was at the nursery earlier to pick up some more of those. So I've got a marker in there, but it's going to be extremely temporary, and I'll have to go back tomorrow and get exactly what we need. But as you can see, I've got the dome on it. Don't need to spritz them down tonight. And I am late in the afternoon planting these. But then tomorrow I'll double check and make sure that the moisture level in the soil is still good. And if it is, then we will not have to spritz. But if it's drying out, we will spritz it because we don't want them to dry out. And so in order to share space, we had to move our tomatoes over here. And we'll open that window on a daily basis, and also have our plant light that is getting those to reach towards the sun. So we've moved our tomatoes over here in order to make room for our new cells that we have just planted. And so we put them here. We've got good, strong southern light on sunny days, but we are supplementing with a full spectrum plant light. You can see that this room is sharing the duty of sprouting seeds with indoor houseplants that are overwintering here. And you can also see that in some of the cells, I ran short of the little plastic type of markers, which I'll go back to the nursery and get and fill those in. But the particular cell greenhouse kit that I picked up happened to have a little chart, so I was able to fill that in. And like I said, I think I have one completely empty cell packet of 6 cells there that I'll be able to start something else in. And that'll be kind of fun. Maybe we'll start a second thing of lettuce, and then we can have some early lettuce, and then we can have lettuce a little bit later, and see if we can get it. See if we can get a multiple crop going there. They are under the plastic dome, and I did forget to mention to you that the cells that are in this kit are they are plastic, reusable, and they are also made out of recycled material. So we're not using any single-use plastic, and so that's a good thing. We're sort of sticking to our gardening roots there. Everything I've planted is organic, and I'll keep it that way. Going back to our tomato plants, like I said before, when we get our second set of true leaves, we'll cover these up with some more of the growing mix, and we will create a much stiffer root system on these. And the other thing that we'll do when we get that second set of true leaves is that, well, actually when we get the first set of true leaves, then we will start feeding them with a half strength dose of tomato plant food. Not full strength, just half strength. And then when they get that second set of true leaves and on, then we'll start upping that dosage to a stronger strength of plant food. They are a heavy feeder because they're going to grow fast. All of these are an indeterminate type of tomato, so that means that they're going to grow. They're going to grow tall. They're going to keep growing throughout the entire season. And our hope is that not only do they keep growing throughout the entire season, they keep producing. So we'll see what kind of luck we have this year.